if you've heard about it, just give me a high five in the chat or thumbs up or something. How many of you have heard about ILO tools before? If you've not heard about it, just put no in the chat as well, because it's super important for us as well to be able to gauge, yes, how many people have heard or not heard about it. No from Mohammed, no, no, no. Is there any yes at all? Okay, all right, so if there are no, amazing. No one has heard about the ILO tools, but you all know what ILO is, right? Okay, if I know what ILO is, give me a high five in the chat. If you know what ILO is. ILO, like International Labor Organization. You all know them, right? Yes, for ILO, okay, amazing. So ILO has designed some business and resources and some other kind of resources. Actually, there are 6 types of resources that they've designed, and they worked on this during the COVID period. And the most important reason for them was trying to support small businesses, young people, cooperatives, organizations, underserved communities through the COVID period in terms of managing their career, their businesses, their development, and so on and so forth. So APIC has partnered with ILO to sort of spread or be able to reach more people with these tools. And for us, we're using 2 kinds of tools. One is called the Ready for Business tool, which is very much dedicated at young people doing businesses. So all of you have at least some business ideas or some entrepreneurial spirit. You don't need to have anything established yet. This tool is going to be helpful for you. And they're designed in such a way that there are what we call a peer-to-peer learning. That means that nobody's the expert here, right? We're all just going to go through a couple of concepts together to understand, and let's try to make this as interactive as possible, okay? And if you can, it would be great to just turn on your cameras while I have this conversation, but if you cannot, it's also okay. Just try to give me as much reactions as possible in the chat using the reaction buttons so that I know that we're all together and we're all following. And I will be asking a lot of questions because that's how we're supposed to, walk through the different tools together. It's a conversational, interactive spaces, and is designed to sort of guide you to, brainstorm about a lot of things and think about a lot of things and ask a lot of questions. And we're going to try to find the answers together. Okay. Does that make sense? If it's all cool and we are ready to start, let me get a ready to start in the chat or something, some energy. Amazing. Thank you, Divas. Who else is ready to get started? Who's excited? Let's go. Okay. I like the energy. All right, so I will share my screen now, and I'm just going to take you directly through the very first one. And they're very, very, short courses, so don't worry, you won't get overwhelmed. Okay. Let me know once you can see my screen. Can you all see my screen? If you can see my screen, give me a thumbs up as well. Or in the chat. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, thank you guys. All right, so this first one is called creating a strategic plan for growing a business. So remember the time where if you've ever had a business idea, maybe you started trying to sell something online or something physically, or you had this genius business idea and maybe you started it and it started going really well, but it was just really stuck at a phase because maybe at some point you were not experiencing growth. Maybe you were making revenue, but you were not experiencing growth. Remember that time in your business, if you ever had a business or something similar, then you can maybe very much relate. And this can be you are not very sure how to move past. This course is very short course actually. It's going to help you with that at trying to look at things differently and are trying to try other methods. So the objective is creating a strategic plan for growing your business. So the first thing I want you to know is there is a phase of your business where you need to start considering growth. How do I move forward? How do I scale? How do I go beyond this? So if you have a great idea or you have a great project or organization going, and it may not necessarily be a profit-making business. It could actually be a group of young people, an association, a club, something you're trying to drive, right? For example, I do remember some years back, I tried starting a foundation for children with a couple of other friends, where we decided to just help young people, like little kids, go through like adults to fund the lessons for free for children who could not afford it, right? It was not exactly a profit venture, but at some point you feel stuck and you probably do not experience growth in the business or in the organization or in the activity, right? So how do you move past the phase? The first thing I need you to know, and let's understand together, is that every organization, every project, every business is going to experience that phase of being stuck. It is completely normal. So in whatever you're doing right now, in whatever activity, projects, NGO, organization, club, idea, business that you're doing or you're looking to start, be very sure that it's going to get a phase where you feel like you're not growing, right? Where you feel like things are just remaining the way they are at, like nothing is moving forward. Maybe things are going okay, but you feel like there should be a little addition by this time, right? So maybe how exactly can I move past this phase? I'm currently making $100 every month. How can I start to make, even if it's a little, like $110 every month, right? Super, super important, right? To think about growth. So the first thing is every business, we establish this phase. We experience this phase, okay? So here our first card says, creating a business needs assessment involves taking a no-nonsense objective look at how your company to see how you can improve in a number of different areas, including management, marketing, sales, finance, and operations. And growth, may I just add this, can be experienced in different areas. We can talk about growth in your HR, in the number of people that start working on this idea with you. We can talk about growth in your in your revenue, like in your finances. We can talk about growth in the number of customers that you get, and they may not always be related. So for example, you can get more customers, but maybe they're buying smaller items, and that may not necessarily mean more revenue, right? So we can talk about growth in different aspects of every project, okay? But what you need to know is that for it to grow in any area, you need a strategic plan. And that is why, that is what this session is really about. Good, so our next card says, start by identifying the weakness in each of these areas and consider how you can improve. And look at your strengths and think about whether you can use them to grow in a way that will help your customers. Again, I want to always bring it to the context of not just businesses, but your activity. Now, I'm going to ask a question. How many of you have done what is called a SWOT analysis before? I've done a SWOT analysis. Give me a high five in the chat. A SWOT analysis. Or just give me a thumbs up. Great. Mark has done one. Who else has done a SWOT analysis? Kishore has done one. A SWOT analysis. Amazing. Who else has done a SWOT analysis? SWOT analysis. Anyone else? Anyone? Okay. So for those of you who do not know, a SWOT analysis is called a strength, weakness, and opportunities, opportunities and threat tab, right? So it's like a table with 4 parts, and the S is for strength, the W is for weakness, the O is for opportunities, and the T is for threat. If you have time, you can check it out. I'm just going to put it in the chat and you can check it out at your own time. So it's called the SWOT analysis. Yes, so SWOT, that's what it's called. So usually we will advise everyone to do both a personal SWOT analysis and a business SWOT analysis, or a professional SWOT analysis. So it means that for your organization, for your project, for your idea, for your business, you list down all of the strengths that you have. So let's say that my business idea or my project idea was, like I mentioned, trying to start a foundation or an organization that helps kids, like less privileged kids, to access, better funding, free courses, extra curricular lessons and stuff like that. So I begin to list down all of the strengths that this project or this organization or this activity or this business has. And I'm doing that for the business, not necessarily for myself. So for example, if I, as the business owner or a member of the business, if I'm very good at working with children, I will list it down as a strength, saying that business has HR experience in working with children. That's a strength. I can also say if I have access to children in the area that I'm at, I can put it as a part of my strength, like access to multiple kids that fit the audience target or something like that. I write down everything that I know is a strength of business. And I begin to then also list out the weaknesses. So maybe one of the weaknesses I can see is we're probably not registered with the government. So there's a restriction of the kind of activities that we can do, and there's a restriction in the scope of projects that we can take on. That's a weakness. Another weakness can probably be, we do not have enough trainers for the children. Maybe it's just me and one of my friends or two of my friends, and there are like 30 children or 40 or 50. So we list down all the weaknesses, we list down all the opportunities. Opportunities are considered like factors that could help this project, but that are not necessarily within the project. So for example, if there are grants available, usually relating to children, then that's an opportunity that we could access, right? And threats are the thing shake or destabilize this business. So, for example, if there are other competing organizations, maybe there's a really big children organization that is already registered and is already popular, that could be a threat and a competition, right? And there are so many others. So what this is saying is that if you need to create a strategic plan to grow your business, you need to do a SWOT analysis. You need to know, first of all, currently, what are my business strengths and what are my business weaknesses? I'll give you an example. I also run a business. Right now it's called the Moneypreneurs, and it's a business development organization, right? And we are at that phase where we need to grow or we need to move beyond where we are at now. And I'm asking, what are my business strengths and what are my business weaknesses? Right now, we're not so very popular on social media, so it may restrict the kind of customers that we get. That's a weakness. But we do have talented business developers within the organization. That's a strength. What opportunities we have? Oh, I currently work with APIC, so I'm very connected to a lot of international opportunities that my business can benefit from. And threats. Okay, we are currently maybe not registered within the space in the Nigerian business environment. So maybe there's a limit to the kind of projects that we can take on, like I mentioned. That's a threat. What are your business strengths? What are your business weaknesses? Because if you need to grow, you need to find a way to focus on your strengths, right? And sort of balance out your weaknesses. Because growth will always come from the place where you're good at. You strengthen your opportunities, right? How can you maximize them, capitalize on them to then overthrow or sort of balance out or cancel out the weaknesses, or at least reduce the impact of the weaknesses and the threat. Cool. Up until this point, I hope I haven't lost anybody. Okay, right. So we're gonna go to the next one. So the next card says, thinking about how to improve on your weaknesses and build on your strengths can help you define what growth means for your business. So at this point, I want to pause and just ask anyone here if they have a business idea or a business that is already in motion that they want to share with us, and then maybe we can do like a very practical experiences throughout this this meeting just to see how the principles here apply to an actual real life business. So this is your chance to get a free consultation. Okay, so just anyone that wants to take advantage of this, you can just take 1 minute, like open your microphone and share with us about your business. And it's a business idea that you haven't really started working on, or it's a little business that you're doing. And again, remember, it must not be a business. It can be a project, an organization, an association, a club, whatever it is that you're working on, or that you're thinking about working on, and you want to, feel free to share so that we could give you some practical tips and apply some of these tips that we're learning right now to your business already. Anyone wants to share? I can give room for 2 people to share. Come on, guys. Again, remember, it's a peer-to-peer learning space, so feel free to interact. And that's why we'll put people in breakout rooms, so you'll be more comfortable to share. We're just about 17 people in this place. So I believe that, you can share, don't be shy. You can also type in the chat if that's okay. But great, Divas raised his hand, amazing. Okay, can go, Divas.
Yeah, well, we recently planned about launching on our platform, or like this project. Let us call this as a project for now. And we have started it with a small team. It is related to the event site where the student can get the various events, competition, and workshop information. And we are currently on the developing phase. So I guess it will be helpful if we.
Sure. Thank you, Divas. Do you wanna share what you think are the strengths of your organization or your project right now? What do you think are the strengths? What do you think you guys are really good at?
Okay, like we have a good network of student for now to get the information about different events for our project. And we have very like enthusiastic person who can really contribute to this platform. And next one is like, I guess that's all. Those are the
so what do you think are the weaknesses? What do you think is something that you guys are not very good at that may be limiting you?
Yeah, we haven't thought about like the issues which we can face related to the law and all, and other things like how to make to reach this platform to more people.
Good. So you guys do not have a clear marketing plan yet on how you can reach more people. That potentially in itself is already a threat. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, US. Vikas, you want to share as well?
Yes, thank you. So what I have been working on as a project, not really sort of a business because there isn't any sort of economic things involved with it, but it's sort of a platform. It's an internet platform where people can share jokes and memes and stuff. So in the current state of the internet, jokes and memes are keeping the internet alive. About 20 to 30% of the young generation people, they like to go onto the internet, surf some memes, enjoy themselves, and spend some time, right? So I have made a website in which people can share memes, and uh, the thing that is different on that website, which is not in others, is the thing about internet censorship. So you could not technically post a meme that some memes get taken down pretty easily, right? But in the platform, you will be able to share your memes. It shouldn't be targeted to a certain group of people or something like that, but it lets you express your opinions in memes. So yeah, it's an open platform, free for all.
Interesting. And what are some of the strengths that you think that you guys have as an organization or as a team? You consider?
Yeah, the website was developed in like less than 3 hours out of the blue because I was just interested in making a website like that. And what happened is while creating it, I just had a thought of memes and stuff. Talking about a team, we don't really have a team right now, as if right now, because the website is still in alpha stage. It's not released, it's not posted anywhere. But I guess the strength would be that it's against internet censorship. It lets you express your opinions and stuff.
Great,
And
amazing.
talking about the weakness that we have, and when the thing comes about censorship and stuff, the legal things that bind us, which doesn't let us like express everything. Uh,
Mhm.
that's the problem. That's the sort of problem that we are getting as of right now.
Mm, makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much, Nikas, for sharing. So we have two practical case practice right now. One try to help young people, and you was correct me if I sum up your idea correctly. Tries to help people to access events, trying to share memes and jokes and funny stuff to people to keep the internet alive and keep us all happy. And sometimes, very trust me, these memes and jokes are some of the things that keep us going because there are so many sad things happening in the world. And sometimes when you put on your Instagram and you scroll down, you see a lot of sad news and sad information, and maybe you just find a meme and then you can laugh a little. So it's really important. Great. Thank you so much, both of you, for sharing. So now we're going to try and apply some of the ideas and principles that we see here from this Google Grammar tool and to each of your business, and we just see how you guys can take some of the concepts forward. Okay, so like here we've said, thinking about how to improve on your weaknesses and build on your strength can help you define what growth means. So one thing is that we want to try to define what is growth for both of you. Okay, so right now Nika is at the phase where we just have a website, right? Not exactly sure what the next step is. What would you consider growth? So for example, you've said in that one of the weaknesses may be like, okay, you're not exactly sure, you cannot post everything because of some rules and regulations. And one of your strengths is that this is something that people really need. So maybe growth for you can try to be getting, like you've mentioned, access of like getting your idea to much more people. Taking your memes, taking your jokes or whatnot to a lot more people on the internet. So in your case, it can be direct, quote and unquote sales, because you need to reach more customers. Growth for you can also mean how can you legally do this? How can you create a structure or a framework around what you currently have as an idea or as a project and make it be more acceptable globally, right? As legal, as a legit activity. And for the US already, growth for you, if we're looking both at your strengths and at your weaknesses, it actually remind me, I forgot one of the weakness that you mentioned. The West, do you want to remind me some of the things that you guys are not so good at?
Oh
For
yeah,
example, I know you mentioned reaching people.
law regarding the information flow.
Information flow. So like how to get, the for example, you have the information about the event and how to get it to more people. Am I correct? Like sort of a marketing channel. Good. So growth for the US team can mean how actually to create more visibility. So it's very important to define at the phase of your business currently, what does growth mean for you? And why it is important to define it is because you cannot take on everything at the same time. So don't try to see how you want to scale all the parts of your business at the same time. So you want to scale, you want to be more visible, you want to make more money, you want to get more partners, you want to know. Focus at each phase, what is growth for me minimally? What is the most important project that I need right now to be able to categorize and say, I am growing? Because growth is progressive. So you make sure that you take them project at a time. So what does growth mean for me right now? Once you're able to identify that first step on what growth means for you, we're making progress already. So you already know clearly what is the goal. And this card right here is saying that one way that you can identify your growth is looking at your strength, looking at your weaknesses. So what are some of the things that you're good at? what are some of the things that you're not good at? And if you look at this both of them comparatively, they can help you to identify in a way, what should I really be focusing on right now, and what does growth mean for me? Great. So the first step in creating a strategic plan for growing your business, I've mentioned: 1, do your SWOT analysis. 2, identify what growth means for you in your project, in that business. What does growth mean for you? Okay, so let's move on. So this card says, ultimately, growth should lead to the lifestyle you want. That might mean making a mint, having time for other interests, or using your business to help others. It could also mean finding a way to do 2 or 3 of these things simultaneously. I like this card. So here, what he's simply saying is growth should ultimately lead you to that end goal. And circle back a bit to why you created this business idea. Why did you think that young people or students or people in general needed more exposure to events? Did you feel like it would help them with networking, with your social profile? What was the burning desire or passion for you that made you want to do this thing? Think a bit about that for a moment. Why did you feel like you needed to share more, internet, like share more memes on the internet, share more jokes on the internet and things like that? Think a bit about why you chose to do these things. This may ultimately be the lifestyle that you wanted to lead at the beginning. So ultimately, the growth you're looking at, the growth that you've defined, should at least get you closer to the why of your business in the first place, right? Why did I start Moneyrpreneurs as a business? I ultimately wanted to help young business owners to navigate the really hard phase of growing. So whatever growth means for me and my business right now, it should take me closer to why I started out my venture. And it could be 1 or 2 or 3 of these things, because you may have different whys. So like he says, it can be making a mint, which is like making more revenue. It could be using your business to help others, which for me is like my ultimate why. And it could mean like doing all of this. But at the same time, I want to be able to reach more. Or growth can mean just that I want to make more money, and that's okay, right? Or growth can mean just that I want to reach more people. I want to access more customers, and that's also okay. Okay, so ultimately, how to checkmate or cross-check your growth is ensure that it takes you a bit closer to the why of your business in the first place. Up to this point, do I have everyone's attention? Are we losing anybody? Do you follow? Is all good? All good? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Amazing. Amazing. Do I have other people in this call? Guys, come on. Give me some reaction here. Camera stand up, and I'm not even sure if you're following. Okay, Kishore is following, at least. I see some set of people giving me thumbs. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat, okay? Encourage me a little so I know that at least you're here. Talking to, like, okay, thank you, Nikas. The rest of us, whenever you're ready, just give me a thumbs up or give me some sort of reaction so that I know that you're really following, right? Okay, thank you. All right, so let's move on. So this card says that's why each business can have its own definition of growth. I think we've gone over this. Like I mentioned, for some of us, it can be increasing revenue or hiring more employees. For others, it can be adding a new location, new products, or just growing in your sales. But no matter how you grow, it's up to you. Okay, so please do not let anyone define how growth should look like for you. Growth for you and your business, or you and your idea, should be what you define it to be based on what you consider to be most important, especially at this phase of your business, but it's still very small and you call the shots. There are some times in your business where you will grow big and you have a board of directors and a whole bunch of people telling you what to do and defining and deciding what growth should be for you, investors and things like that. Okay, so just make sure that right now you define what growth is for you by yourself. All right, so knowing what growth means to you is a good start, like I mentioned, towards getting it to your goals, but it also pays to know where your business is in its life cycle. So now you know what growth means to you, but you also want to know where exactly are you at right now in your business life cycle. So here, this card says, many people think of businesses and industries as having 4 life cycle phases: startup, growth, maturity, and decline. So what stage do you think you're at right now? Do you think you're in the startup stage, which is probably where most of us are at, and we want to move to the growth phase, right? And then after the growth phase, you get to a maturity phase where, things are kind of stable, you're growing consistently, you have most of your boxes checked. And then there's a decline phase. And usually most businesses will grow until they will start declining. It takes really innovative businesses and founders and ideas to be able to circle back from, maturity, decline phase, back again to growth, and keep that circle going. So here it says, knowing what stage you're at can help you see some of the challenges you might have to tackle as you thrive, as you grow and thrive. So think a bit about what phase you are at your business or your organizations. For those in the startup and growth stages, things might be moving really quickly, right? So you may see that one moment you have a really good idea, the next moment, you have another really good idea. Things may walk in and out of the door. It may change really fast. Challenges can come up really fast. So challenges can include finding financing, staff, and systems to help you get off the ground or expand to reach new customers. This is precisely the case of Dewas and Nikas right now. So your challenges will include your everyday basic needs. So for example, how am I going to get the funds to properly build the proper website? One that, is a whole lot more accessible, fun, and user-centric. How do we get the funds to create a proper marketing strategy to reach more people with these events, right? How do I get a team to support me? So if you are in the startup and growth phases, these are usually what your challenges look like. And knowing that you are in this phase is already a great way to identify how to move into growth. Remember, this session is showing you how you can strategically plan for growing your business. So we're just laying out the maps of things that you can do to plan for growth, so that when you start actually growing, you're growing strategically in a pattern. You're not just experiencing today, you have a big win, tomorrow there's a big loss. Because that's what happens when you do not strategically plan for growth. You just maybe hit the really good jackpot and something great really happens, and yeah, you think you're growing, but all of a sudden, maybe that grant that you won is finished, and then you go back right to being where you are because you were not actually planning for growth. So when you met a growth opportunity or you even got some financing, you were not exactly sure what part of your business to apply to right now. So that's why it's really important to plan for it strategically. So mature businesses have probably been around for a little while, to the point that they might be struggling to find a new way to innovate, right? This means they will need to seek out new areas for growth so they can keep succeeding in their industry. So a lot of businesses, and that's why you see the likes of Google or the likes of Amazon constantly bringing out new products. You would think by now that Google is done with everything products. I mean, they have the largest tool of software anywhere, but they're constantly bringing out new products. They've gone from Google Cloud to, the Google Suite that everyone cannot stop using right now. And they're bringing out new products every day. Google websites, Google has everything right now you can think of about a business. You can build a mini website with Google. You can talk to your team already. You can use Google Sheets to track, do projects, and so many things, right? So the reason they keep doing this, because they're already at the phase where you call a mature business. So it's either they innovate, which is create new things to make them grow, or they decline. So if you're already at this mature phase, you need to be thinking about, how can I do what I'm doing differently? How can I bring fresh ideas and products into the market? Let's move on. So over time, phases of your business or industry may become obsolete, leading to decline. This can happen rapidly due to a sudden event, or slowly, like the publishing industry's issues. So it can happen rapidly. So for example, COVID hit, experience massive decline because something sudden cut off their source of business, right? Or it could happen gradually. So for example, a lot of people that maybe use to do manual accounting or physical paperwork, you know, this business is becoming more and more obsolete because a lot of people are going digitally, right? And even those that usually maybe have like a printing press or printing shop, a lot of people are printing less and less things, and people are just buying books online and reading things online. So if you maybe had a business where you were printing things, your business could be going obsolete little by little gradually because, yeah, the world is just adjusting. So it may be time to think about what is that new thing that I can do to grow, to succeed, or to innovate. So businesses that might be declining shouldn't call into a ball and hide. Reinvention is great for growth. For example, many firms have grown by finding ways to reach people through social media rather than the old TV screen. No brainer. So a lot of people are more on social media these days than they watch TVs. And even if they watch TV, it's more Netflix. So maybe you want to take your advertising to Netflix because less and less people are watching TV today. Anyway, so let's move on. Now, all right, you've assessed your business needs, its life cycle and phase, and you know what growth is to you. So some of the things you need to have done by now, if you're writing or noting down somewhere or trying to think about that, your business or idea is: one, you've done your SWOT analysis; two, you've defined what growth means to you; three, you have identified what phase you are at in your business. What phase you're at in your business right now. So it's time to make a strategic growth plan. Good. Now, a strategic growth plan is a roadmap for your business. Think of it like something that takes you to where you're supposed to be. You can use it to help know where your company is, where you want to get, and how you're going to get there. So which hopefully will help you from finding your way if you're lost, right? So your growth map is where exactly I'm at, where I want to be, and how do I get to where I want to be? What's the strategy, the channel that takes me there? So you need a plan for making your plan. Most strategic growth plans involve three things. One, a vision statement. Two, strength, weakness, and opportunity track, like I mentioned, a SWOT analysis. And three, a goals list. So now if I ask all of you that have a business, what is your vision statement? Take a minute to think about it. What is that ideal scenario for your business? So let's say that if you had all the resources you needed in this world, where do you want to be with your business? Have you even thought about itemizing it? The vision statement can look something like this. Serving 1 million customers within the next 5 years, for example. What does big look like for you? Because if you cannot see it, if you cannot identify it, if you cannot picture it in your head, chances are you're not able to achieve it. So take a moment to think about what does that look for you. So for example, for Nikas, it could be 1 million people every day has seen or clicked like to his meme. So it means that he's been able to spread joy and laughter and some sort of warm emotions around to 1 million people every day. That could be his big goal. That's where he wants to reach within the next 5 years. So every day on the internet, people have reacted to Nika's Mimi. I don't know what the name of your business is, but I think Nika's Mimi sounds nice. And that could be the vision, right? And for the US, it could be like hundreds of thousands, I don't know, maybe every month, 1 million young people or 1 million students access networking opportunities or they access events, right? And they're better for it. And you know, maybe somewhere along the line, you need to create an impact survey, how you see how these events help young people. So maybe before they go to the event or after they go to the event or some sort of survey, but you're able to evaluate if those events are really helping young people. And maybe the vision for you can be like, 100,000 young people found opportunities within the event that they went to. Maybe they met a mentor. Maybe they came across someone that later helped them in their business or connected them to a career or something. But what exactly does really big, really positive, really great look like for your business? If you had no limitations, no financial limitations, no human resource limitations, no capacity limitations, what is your vision statement? Because this is what you need to actually make a good plan. Apart from your SWOT analysis, which I already talked about, and a list of your goals. But what is the big vision? You are probably going to break this down into tidbit sizes of goals, but right now just think about it in the grandeur of it. What does it look like for you? Okay, so creating a vision statement for your business gives you a chance to focus on some of your company's big pictures. Like I already mentioned, first, identify your business purpose. If you run an online hardware store, the purpose might be to help everyone on the planet feel comfortable around power tools, or maybe just to put a hammer in every hand. Like I mentioned, think about your business's purpose. For you to really get to that vision, you need to think about what is the driving force of this business for me. For my business, it will be probably helping 1,000 entrepreneurs every day to navigate the growth phase. I'm a business coach, right? And what I do is help other businesses. So my business is the business of helping other people's business, right? So literally, my vision statement will look like every year or every quarter or whatever frequency I want, but let's say every year because it's more stable. I want to help 1,000 entrepreneurs to navigate the growth phase, or to navigate a difficult challenge, or to pull off something, to achieve visible growth. So I'm not measuring my vision by how much money I make, because that is not the most important driving force for my business, but by how many entrepreneurs I'm able to help. So you just why your solution is necessary with money it brings into your pocket. So what is your vision statement? Next, consider what your business provides to people. Yeah, you need to add to the products and services you currently offer to achieve your purpose. So for example, let's say that for kneecaps, your actual reason for creating this real business is to make people happy or to share some sort of smile. Then just maybe meme is not the only way you're going to do it. Maybe meme is not going to be a sustainable way to do it. It can just be scratching the surface. So if your goal and your vision is really to share smiles around the world, maybe every year, 1 million people sharing internet memes is not just the way to achieve that. And you will notice because this is the part where you critically ask yourself, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? This is your growth phase. So look at your vision and then ask yourself critically, the products I'm currently offering, the service I'm currently offering, are they enough to get me to my vision? So right now, I'm currently just sharing events to young people or to people generally. If my goal is to try to get people to access more opportunities, then maybe just sharing events alone or event opportunities may not get me there. Maybe I need to create some sort of activity or an event at myself where I bring more opportunities to people versus just telling them to go to this event to find opportunities. Maybe I want to create a mentor-mentee matching program where I go find mentors and match them to mentees. I don't know. So the point is, think about what was your main driving factor, your why. Think about what does big, massive, amazing look like for you, your vision statement. What is the thing that you achieve? And then think about